I'm just reading my book, Julie. What are you doing here?
Nothing, I just wanted to see what you're doing. Is it any good?
It's pretty good.
Books of Blood by Clive Barker. I think I heard that name before.
He's the guy that created Hellraiser. He's my favorite writer.
Personally, I like Stephen King. I think he's the best horror writer.
No way, Clive Barker is the best. Even Stephen King thinks he's the best writer in horror.
If it is true, then why is Stephen King way more popular?
Julie, Stephen King writes for mainstream audiences. Just because more people like someone's style doesn't mean they're better.
Whatever, Stephen King is way better.
Since we're on the subject of scary stories, do you remember that story Mom used to tell us about Vietnam?
No, what story, Frank?
I don't think you were there. It's a story that I've been thinking about a lot. Something about it really frightens me.
Ooh, now I really want to hear it.
The story takes place in the farmlands outside of Saigon. There's this young man who's always dreamt about meeting this perfect girl and falling in love with her.
That does not sound scary at all.
Julie, just let me tell the story.
Well, sorry.
As I was saying, he was walking in the market and he met this girl. She was the most beautiful girl he'd ever seen. They started dating and eventually got married.
Aw, how sweet.
After the wedding, strange things started happening. She would never let him go outside. She would lock him in the house all day and night, and every single meal he ate had to be cooked by her. And one time, he woke up in the middle of the night and he felt his wife at his side, so he leaned over to kiss her cheek. The problem was, her head wasn't there.
Did someone come in and cut it off?
No, it's even worse. He lifted the covers to see his wife. Her body was laying there just like it was asleep. Her head and spinal column was missing, but the body was still alive. That's when he realized what was really going on.
What was going on?
He remembered the stories that his parents used to tell him about Ma Lai.
Isn't that half ghost in Vietnamese?
Yeah, it turns out his wife was half ghost. During the day, she looked just like a normal person, but at night, her head would leave the body with all the organs still attached to his spinal column. She would then float around looking for livestock to eat. He remembered his parents telling him in the stories that the only way to kill a half ghost was to stuff up the body so the head couldn't reclaim it. But he wasn't sure if it would work since no one had ever claimed to have killed one.
Ew, that's gross.
After his realization, he heard his wife coming back home after her meal. He put the covers back over her body and pretended that he was asleep. Her spine and the organs went into the hole in her neck and the head went right back onto the body. When he was sure she was asleep again, he peeked his eyes open and saw dried blood covering her lips.
So what did he do?
He went about his business like nothing had ever happened. The next morning, when it was time for breakfast, he looked at his food his wife had made him. It was a bowl of steamed rice. He took a second glance and saw it for what it really was, a bowl of maggots. His wife's spell over him was broken since now he knew the truth. He told her he wasn't hungry and didn't eat for the rest of the day. When it was night again, he pretended to fall asleep. He heard the disgusting sounds as her head twisted off her neck, dragging the organs that came with it. He stuffed the body with the sheets and then left the house. He went as far as he could.
So is that the end?
No, the following night, he heard something at the window. He thought it was impossible because he was in the second story of the hotel. He then heard a voice yelling,
You took my body, now I take yours.